Jennifer, do we have any special guests tonight? Moving on to the approval of the minutes, item 1, July 13, 2026, City Council meeting. Have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. July 21st, 2026, fiscal year 27 budget work session. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Announcements, 26th Annual Solar Sports Sprint Triathlon, August 15th, 2026, Letty.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just a reminder of this annual event scheduled to begin at the pool. It is a kind of a run walk. It is scheduled for Saturday, the 15th, set up at 10, start at 7, and finishing, 10 a.m. the day before, and starting event at 7 and ending at 11:30. You'll see the different routes there on the right, and they are same routes they use every year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Best tasting water in Texas, Frank?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to announce the Texas Water Utility Association hosted a conference and competition for the best tasting water in Killeen, and our team, Alamo Heights, took first place in that regional, and it made them qualify for the state. And we went to Waco, Texas, participated for the state conference, and I'm happy to say that the best tasting water in Texas is here in Alamo Heights for 2026.
Nice.
Great job, Frank, and your whole team. Item C, TCMA Region 8 President Phil Laney. Buddy?
Yeah, Mayor, Council, thanks. I just wanted to announce, we're very proud of Phil. He's the president of Texas City Managers Association Region 8 for the upcoming year. Region 8 represents 26 counties, as you can see, and dedicated to providing the highest levels of service, integrity, and leadership, and the highest ethical standards in city government. So really proud of Phil, and he'll be representing us for the next year, and key to helping us with all kinds of stuff with legislation and other regions and so forth. So very proud of Phil.
Well, thank you. Great job, Phil. You had a great teacher. It wasn't me. And the moment we've all been waiting for, Jennifer, live streaming options for public meetings.
This announcement is great as a previous one, slightly right under there. We are proud to announce that we are live streaming now for our public meetings. So those are the meetings you're able to view from your home or phone, whatever device you'd like, but you don't need to subscribe. We are live streaming via Facebook and YouTube, and this information was also in the newsletter.
Great.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you for all the effort and hard work going into that, Jennifer. Okay, citizens be heard for items not on the agenda. I have a sign-up sheet. Are these on the agenda, whoever signed up? There's no names, or they're all on the agenda that you want to speak toward? I signed up there. Yeah, is it for an item that's on the agenda? No. Then come forward now.
Good evening, everybody. My name is John Chadwell. I'm on the board of the Alamo Heights Bark Park, and I've talked with the mayor, and I've talked with Frank and Phil. Congratulations on that. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you for the support that the city has given to the bike park as far as just encouragement and participation and getting things done. We've been able to get a fair amount of projects done. There's still a lot of work to be done. The city, the Bark Park is moving along quite nicely. We're adding an additional gate to mitigate some of the traffic problems that are along Alamo Heights Boulevard that have been causing some issues there, and also for the patrons of the park. On average, when I go to the park, I'm seeing anywhere between 20 and 30 dogs playing around, about the same number of patrons that are participating. I see people gathering and talking and engaging with other conversations. My understanding is that the city will be doing a community fund project. If that's approved by the budget, we will be intending to apply for a grant application for that as well. But I just wanted to give you a heads up of what we're doing, and thank you for all that. I really want to congratulate or really appreciate Frank's work. And every time I call, and you as well, I get a very quick response, and thank you for that.
You've been great and great leader. Thank you for taking on the role.
Thanks for all you
Thanks,
do.
John.
Okay.
I have 3 people on the, is Laura here? Yeah, right here. Which item are you signed up for?
The 103 East Elmview, but then I also had like just another comment as long as I was here, so I don't know where.
Is it not on the agenda?
No.
Then come forward.
Thanks. So I don't come often. I figured get it all out. My other comment was just about the signage that's usually on Elmview and the other high school adjacent streets once the high schoolers like come back to school. And then there's concerns about where people are parking. And every street sort of has different signs. And I would just encourage us to maybe find some consistency between like the signs that look like a ranch fence post versus the ones that are zip tied to the existing signs versus the ones that are like staked into the ground that then fall out every time the yard gets mowed or it gets too dry. That we could find maybe some consistency to communicate the same idea about parking and on each side of the high school should look the same. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Dennis, you're here for item 5 on Elmview also? Yes. Okay, and then Anthony? Which case are you here for? Same thing. Elmview, okay. I hate to tell you this, but they're on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for the consent items?
Well,
does anybody-
I'll pull item
Okay.
5 off the consent agenda.
Okay. Councilman Jesse officially pulled item 5 off the agenda, the case 104-2F. Remaining cases, item 4, case 104-1F, and 104-3F. Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We're going to move on to item 5, is take it off the consent agenda, Architectural Review Board case 104-2F, request of RIMO Enterprise LLC owner for the compatibility review of the proposed design located at 103 Elmview Place in order to construct a new single-family residence. Letty?
Thank you, Mayor.
Jennifer, is there a way to move the timer up? Yes. Okay. Thank you. There we go. Okay, Letty.
Thank you, Mayor. The location of this property is zoned Single Family A on the northeast corner of Broadway and East Elmview. This is for a new single-family residence. This property, or the previous main structure, was approved for demolition back in 2023. Council did approve a design there. Unfortunately, the owner at the time did not build that structure. It's currently a vacant lot. New construction is subject to compatibility review under the demolition review ordinance. Existing conditions of the site, you'll see front street view and side on Broadway. Existing conditions on the left, proposed site plan on the right with Elmview located towards the left. Proposed front elevation. Proposed rear elevation. You'll see at the top was the original presented to ARB. Based on feedback, the applicant did update the windows to be consistent with those in front. So the bottom rendering is the updated, incorporating those changes. Proposed east elevation, so interior side. Proposed west street view on Broadway. You also see the before and after. Proposed roof plan. A proposed rendering. And an additional. Lot coverage and floor area ratio appear to be compliant with current regulations. These would be confirmed during the plan review process. Existing streetscape and view across the street. And proposed streetscape. Staff has completed plan review for this project and complies with city zoning code. Case was considered at the ARB meeting, and I apologize. The board voted to recommend approval of the design with the consistency in the windows. A public notice was mailed to property owners within a 200-foot radius, posted on the city's website and on the property. We did receive one response regarding this request as neutral. This is from the property owner to the east of this property. And that concludes my presentation.
Thanks, Letty. Is the applicant here? Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. I submitted those, from the ARB review, they just asked for the consistency of the windows, submitted that, and I'm open to hear what is to be said about this.
Okay. Thank you. You can go ahead and have a seat, and if we need you, we'll call you back.
Okay, thank you.
Laura Lindner?
Hi, so really my only feedback is just about the vision as you're turning off of Elmview onto Broadway. It is challenging to see with the current shrubs, practically impossible if you're in a sedan. And so as we look forward to this house being built, if we could also be very mindful about that vision as you're looking, and that a fence or shrubs are improved from what they are currently. Thanks.
Thank you. Dennis? If you go ahead and state your name for the record, please.
I'm Dennis Donaldson. I live on East Elmview, and I just wanted to echo what she just said. But we have historically had problems with the line of sight at the intersection of Broadway and Elmview, both on the street and from the alley with the hedge. And one thing that a couple of us noticed was that the plans didn't address fencing. And so we were concerned that any fences that might be put up do so in light of the vision lines when you're intersecting Broadway.
Thank you. Anthony Guerrero?
Mayor, council members, thank you for hearing me. I live at 164 East Elmview, and basically I agree with what they're talking about. Is the issue of the site turning onto Broadway, heading south. In the past, the overgrown yard there, it's very difficult to see oncoming traffic heading from north to south. So again, the plans, they don't really address a fence going up later on or anything like that. I think that's still kind of in the open. I don't know. But anything that would be put up along that edge there on Broadway would probably block your view, and it makes it hard to see because you kind of almost have to stick out a little bit to see beyond that obstruction that was there currently.
Fair comment. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Sure, come forward.
I understand what they're saying, and there is a fence right there with a bunch of shrubs. The intent is to remove that fence and all the vegetation that grows on the fence. So I would think that with the design, the visibility will be improved a lot. There's not really an intent to put a fence up until the rear of the property. So it should clear up a good amount of space there for visually driving from there.
So you would actually remove the existing barrier today, move it back toward the end of the house, which is probably 50, 60 feet from where it is today?
Yeah, so,
No,
I
not quite
guess
that far.
the first, what would block your view first would be the actual house. There's not gonna be a fence along the Broadway side. I don't know if, maybe on some of the site plans, there is a fencing location marked on there. There just isn't a fence.
So there's a fence today on a vacant lot?
Yes. I think there was a house there previously, and I guess they just left the previous fence on there. But yeah, I guess on these drawings, you're not able to see the fence location, but the chain link is right, I think, basically up on the property line.
In the green. And that's going away.
So just to answer your question, Mayor, as was indicated, when the house was demolished, it's like a 4-foot tall chain link fence, but there was shrubs that were kind of integrated into it, and they're on the right-of-way side of the fence. And so they grow up, and they grow up to 6 feet in height. The concerns about the visibility, they mentioned it on Broadway, but it is a problem from the alley. And I know you know and the staff know that I've raised the issue about doing a code amendment to specifically provide for a visibility triangle where alleys hit the major arterials or collectors like this. And I do think, and here they're showing an alley all the way to the property line or fence, and that will create a visibility problem from the alley, which was mentioned by one of the speakers as well. So the comments around visibility are long-standing, and throughout this whole process, when this lot has been vacant, it's been a problem, and I appreciate everybody coming out and commenting on it. But I would also just mention to the council I do think the fence against Broadway, as they're showing it, against that right-of-way, is going to create a major visibility problem.
There, the lines that are
Or
shown
in the
right
alley,
there,
yeah.
that's just showing the property line, and the other line is indicating the setback. On this specific drawing,
You're not showing a fence on this
yeah,
drawing?
it doesn't show, I guess, can I point?
You're showing the alley, the drive, I guess
Yes,
what is
so-
the driveway? Are you going to keep that clear all the way to
Yeah,
the
so
Broadway?
this driveway here, right here, this is where the fence would be to enclose the backyard, and then there'll be another fence along right here, a wood fence, and then right there. And then this is a visibility triangle. This is just driveway, and then no fence along this.
There's no fence along Broadway.
No fence along Broadway.
Including by the alley, right?
Yes, including, the fence would start after the house to enclose, after the driveway fence would be
So that
in
wouldn't,
here.
none of that would affect the visibility. Now to Trey's point, like, to the extent that that's on the public right-of-way, that's something that could be removed now, right? I mean, that's something I would just, is off topic, but.
You talking about the
My-
bush,
my-
the
my
shrubs?
My daughter is learning to drive and is noting for me how many of our stop signs are not visible around the community and other things like that. She said, would it be nice to make a list of all of those places?
It would be.
It might be nice.
Are you willing to accept the fact that you have no fencing along Broadway and willing to design and work with staff on creating a visual triangle off the alley and off of Elmview?
Like removing the fence now? I'm sorry, I'm not
No,
understanding
well-
exactly.
Buddy, if the shrubs are in the right of way, does she have the right to remove them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, there's going to be some time between now and the completion of this house. Would you be willing, as you start construction, to remove that fence and those shrubs in the right of way?
Yeah,
And then in the new design, working with Letty and Tyler on creating a visual triangle on the alley and Broadway?
Yeah,
Letty, just to confirm too, our code requires certain turning viewports, right? So if she wanted to put a fence back, she wouldn't be allowed to per the current code. So you have to maintain a visual, and in theory, if the shrubs were ever to grow up, you could actually call code compliance, and she would actually have to cut them down because you have to maintain that visual. So, is that correct?
We do have something in code that addresses visibility from the street, but not from the alley. I think that's what Mr. Jacobson brought up the last time.
Which we're gonna change that in code.
And the visibility is per distance, so it's like they can put up a fence. It can only be a certain height, and it has to be set back from
Right,
Elmview.
3 feet, I believe, and then visibility, I believe, is 25 feet on a corner.
Unless she comes off the property line. If she comes back, the fence grows.
Right, she would be able to install a fence so long as she was outside of that area. But if she's proposing to place it in that area here, then she's way outside.
Okay,
that
that's fine.
area.
Okay. Any further questions?
Appreciate it, thank you.
I'll move for approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you all for coming and expressing your concerns. Moving on to individual items for consideration, public hearing, planning and zoning case 463, a request by Tyler Cosma, applicant representing Treeb Sasser Jr., owner to replat the properties identified as CB 4024, Block 33, lots 3, 5, 6, east portion 50 feet of Lot 2, and Lot 7, exception southwest 71.36 feet, also known as 5307 Broadway Street. Letty?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the location of the property. This property is actually zoned, has 3 different zoning designations. You have Business District 1, parking and multifamily. It's on the northwest corner of Broadway at Kennedy, and this replat would combine those 3 lots into one. Existing conditions, this is a view from Broadway. It's another view of the property. You see existing conditions. Again, you have multiple lots or portions of that make up this location. Replat establishing, proposed. As proposed, does meet all lot area and width requirements per zoning. We are still pending receipt of approvals by CPS SAWS and Public Works. Those will be required prior to releasing for recordation. There is currently a renovation at this location that's currently underway. P&Z did consider the request at their regular meeting on August 3rd, voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request as proposed. Public notice was mailed to property owners within a 200-foot radius, posted on the city's website and on the property. In addition, we did include legal notice in the Express News. We did receive 3 responses in support of this request and none in opposition. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Letty. It's now officially 5:55. I'd like to open the public hearing. Is Tyler here? Does anybody have any questions? Entertain a motion?
Oh, you need to close the public hearing?
I'm sorry, it's you. Thank you. I'm officially close the public hearing, 5:55. Now I open for a motion.
Move approval?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. No, that's not right. I'm sorry. That's wrong. We're going to close the public hearing. Okay, but now I got to go to the next discussion, right? Okay.
You did. We're good.
Okay, that's fine. Usually I have to repeat it twice, but we're good. It's done. Thank you. Moving on to second public hearing, planning and zoning case 471, request by Jesse F. Cantu, applicant on behalf of Donup Realty LLC, owner to replat the properties identified at CB 4050, Block 75, Lot 23, and CB 4050, Block 75, Lot 24, also known as 5701 North New Braunfels Avenue. Lady.
Thank you, Mayor. This, the current property is zoned Office 1 or pending approval of the replat for the rezoning. This is on the northwest corner of North New Braunfels and Montclair. This would combine the two existing lots into one. Existing conditions. Replat establishing, eliminating the dividing lot line. So there's no minimum lot area for property zone B1, so this does meet the lot area requirement. As far as lot width, the minimum is 75 feet. They did go before the BOA for a variance to that. That was granted. It was granted with the conditions of the approval of the rezoning. Staff is still pending receipt regarding CPSOs and Public Works. They're actually still working on finalizing locations of easements with CPS. In addition, when council considered the rezone request, you all did make a condition of the approval that they would establish a 5-foot public access easement. So that's still, they're still working on that as well. We would confirm that before we release the plat for recordation. Future development will go through plan review in addition to ARB and council review. Planning and Zoning Commission did consider the request at their August 3rd regular meeting, voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request as presented. Public notice was mailed to property owners within a 200-foot radius, posted on the city's website and on the property. Legal notice was also included in the San Antonio Express News. We did receive one response in support of this request from the property owner and none in opposition. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Letty. It's officially 5:59. I'd like to open the public hearing. Is Mr. Cantu here? It's 5:59. I'd like to close the public hearing. Moving on 10, discussion and possible action, planning zoning case 471, a request by Jesse F. Cantu, applicant on behalf of Donup Realty LLC, owner to replat the properties identified as CB 4050, Block 75, Lot 23, and CB 4050, Block 75, Lot 24, also known as 5701 New Braunfels. Any discussion?
Move approval.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Letty. Moving on to public hearing, planning and zoning case 472, request by Jacob W. Otter, applicant on behalf of, I think it's called Caravasara LLC, owner to replat the properties identified as CB 4024, Block 109, Lot 2, also known as 104 Crescent Street, and CB 4024, Block 109, Lot 1, also known as 202 Crescent Street. Letty.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the location of the property, zone single family A, southwest corner of Crescent at East Olmos Drive. This replat would combine two existing properties into one. This is a current aerial view. There is currently a main structure on one of the properties, 104 Crescent. 202 is a vacant lot. Existing conditions at 104. Replat establishing. As far as lot area, does meet the minimum required by zoning code. The same with lot width, the minimum, although it is a regular shape, does meet the minimum requirements. Approval by CPSOs and Public Works is required prior to release. Any future development could possibly be subject to ARB and council depending on what they want to do to the existing structure. P&Z did consider the request on August 3rd, voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request as submitted. Public notice was mailed to property owners within a 200-foot radius, posted on the city's website and on the property. Legal notice was also included in the Express News. We did receive 2 responses in support of this request and none in opposition.
Thank you, Letty. It's officially 6:01. I'd like to open the public hearing. Is Jacob Otter here? You come forward if you'd like to speak.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Well, I just want to say thank you. So I don't really have anything further. I think city staff did a great job of presenting. So, but if you have any questions, I'm here.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Officially 6:02. I'd like to close the public hearing. Move on to item 12, discussion possible action on planning and zoning case 472. Request by Jacob W. Otter, applicant on behalf of Caravanserai LLC, owner to replat the properties identified as CB 4024, Block 109, Lot 2, also known 104 Crescent Street, and CB 4024, Block 109, Lot 1, also known as 202 Crescent Street. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item 13, a presentation of proposed fiscal year 2026-27 operating budget and scheduling a public budget hearing.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. We'll be going over the proposed 26-27 budget. Let me go down. Okay, and has been in accordance with the Texas State law and generally accepted accounting principles, and it is required to cover only those expenditures with revenue for which the city has authority to levy. And we are trying to create a balanced budget. And we are also going to be scheduling a public hearing for the proposed budget. Of course, this is just an overview of the budgetary policy. The proposed fiscal year 27 budget revenues cover operating expenditures, and we are creating a balanced budget. Any remaining working capital will be returned to the fund balance or designated to fund capital assets or other projects. The proposed budget also includes the first phase of 2 for the garbage fee increase that will support the services, the services of the solid waste department that they provide. And also, we have included an estimated tax rate increase that would bring in an additional $685,700 in property tax revenue. The estimates were based off of the de minimis rate that were presented in the budget work session. And also, here's another summary. We're going to go over the tax rate, the general fund budget, capital, utility funds, other governmental funds, and then any other questions for the final budget. Okay. On the general fund, you'll see that the beginning fund balance is at $9,172,000. Total operating revenues is at $16,112,000. Total department allocations, including transfers out, is at $15,746,000. So right now, with the increase in the revenues from the estimated proposed property tax increase, we're looking at a positive of $365,000 added back into the fund balance. So we are projected to end at $9,538,000. And of course, these are all projections as well. These are the capital items that were presented to council at their work, excuse me, at the work session, and that were approved. So we have the community grants at $50,000, the EMS capital replacement fund for $143,000, their fire truck encumbrance of $200,000, the police vehicle of $67,599, the solid waste garbage truck for $370,000, and the fire department air packs for $146,000, the community fall event for $25,000, the household hazardous waste for $50,000, and then also the city hall renovation project for $60,000, for a total of $1.1 million, a little over $1.1 million for the capital project items. And then this, these were items that were on the bubble of the proposed budget, which was a butterfly garden and the solid project of $90,000. So right now, don't believe we have those funded, right? Did I?
Put it in.
Buddy?
Yes, they're not in the budget, they're not in the proposed budget, they're on the bubble, so that's why we did the property tax increase. And then also, the next item is the solid waste fee increase. So pretty much it's the same schedule that we went over at the last meeting. We are gonna do phase one, where it's gonna go from $29 to $34 per customer, and also $20 for additional cart, and that will be effective October 1, 2026. And then phase two will begin in 2027. And that will go from the 34 to the 38. The $20 additional cart will still stay the same. Keep going. This is gonna be for the utility fund. Right now, we are looking at a beginning fund balance of 4.2 million, total revenues of just over 5 million, total expenditures at 6.5. So right now, our expenditures are exceeding our revenues at about 1.5 million. So we will be dropping the fund balance down to 2.7, just over a little 2.7 million. And the transfers out do include the drought surcharge fee, so that's already taken into account for the decrease. The revenues also include the current rate structure for the 3% increase for water and sewer as well.
So the drought has been pulled out, but you put it in a different area?
Yes.
Okay.
And so these are our other funds. So pretty much our street maintenance, we're looking at revenues coming in from sales tax about 917,000, expenditures of 1.2. So these funds, you'll typically see them drop down because we want to expense what we can to fix the streets and equipment. So it'll go down to 379,000. The capital projects fund, which is our 2021 bond fund, which is for the Lower Broadway project. So pretty much right now, we are just accumulating revenue, which is interest. So we're looking at sitting at 17.5 million of ending fund balance for that one. The other capital replacement fund, we're looking at ending at 135,000. And that will include the capital items for the air packs, police vehicles, lease payments, and the solid waste garbage truck. And then we have our EMS fund. So this is going to be a new fund, so we can keep account and hopefully better use the credits that we receive from Terrell Hills and Olmos Park. And so that one's looking at 10,000. The 2026 bond fund, we should be getting the funds this week. And so we are looking at expensing most of them between now and next fiscal year. So that's why the fund balance looks like it's around 313,000. And then our pool fund, this will be used for any maintenance or capital expenditures for the pool, and it's also where they pay the lease fee. The next steps is for council to vote to set a public hearing for the proposed 26-27 budget for August 24th. And then council will vote to have an action item to adopt the proposed budget on August 24th. Are there any questions on the proposed budget before we go to moving for the public hearing? No.
Go ahead.
Okay. And so right now we just need council action.
Anybody have any questions? I'll make a motion otherwise.
Carl, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just have a question about the process. So, like, we're gonna set this public hearing, and so at that public hearing, we could have discussion and modify what's approved, right? This is
Yes.
just merely to sort of put this on the agenda. Okay.
And you can modify it lower.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot modify it higher.
You're talking about for the tax rate
Yes.
particularly, but like anything else is sort of subject to, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll discuss everything during the public hearing, and once we finalize everything, then we'll adopt it by ordinance after that.
Got it, okay.
Okay, I move the city hold a public hearing for the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget on August 24th, 2026.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move the city have an action item to adopt the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget on August 24th, 2026.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item is, do you want to, just go ahead? It's going to be the proposed 26 property tax rate. There it is. So the city is required by Chapter 26 of the Texas Property Code to publish a no new revenue rate and a voter tax approval rate, which I believe y'all received those notices last week. We were also going to decide how much revenue is needed to calculate and the rate required to raise that amount, and we will publish the notices. And if the proposed tax rate will exceed the no new revenue tax rate, we'll hold one public hearing, and they're also going to adopt a tax rate. So as y'all know, the valuations have gone down. So usually when the valuations go down, the tax rate goes up. And so we have seen that our tax rate actually did go up due to the valuations. The no new revenue rate is at 0.38. And last year, I believe it was at 0.36. So it has gone up, the no new revenue rate. And the voter approval rate with the unused increment is at 0.496515. And the de minimis rate is at 0.42654. And that is the rate that the city staff is recommending as well. So the no new revenue, of course, provides the same amount of revenue we collected this current fiscal year. Voter approval rate will usually collect about 3.5% over the no new revenue maintenance operation plus debt rate. And since we have unused increments, we have a higher voter approval rate. Okay. Oops. The first item is going to be the 2026 tax levies without shifting over a portion of the INS rate. So if you look at the current rate at 0.37 where we are currently, and we are proposed budget rates, we will actually end up losing about $952,000 if we stick with the current rate. Because the estimated M&O levy will go from 7.9 to 6.9. The no new revenue rate will still decrease from our proposed budget to about $778,000. So we will still lose out $778,000 compared to the proposed budget M&O. The voter approval without the unused increment rate will be at 7.6 million versus the 7.9. So we'll still end up decreasing the budget by 327,000. If we go with the de minimis, which is the city's proposed rate, it'll go from 7.93 to 7.912, which will just be a decrease of about 18,000. And then if we go all the way to the voter approval rate, you'll bring in an additional 1.1 million. And that is without shifting any portion of the INS, which is the debt rate.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
regarding- So that difference, that's relative to the budget, not the prior year collection, or what is that?
It's relative to the budget. It's not.
Budget, not to the prior year.
Yeah, if you look, I know it's a different sheet, but normally what I do is I propose on the M&O budget, and then I estimate what the new levy would be based off of these current rates. So the difference will be either higher or lower here over what we have put in the proposed budget. Let me see here. So this is what we have in the proposed budget. This is what the estimated levy will be for the maintenance operations, and then here's a difference if we will collect more or less. And then if you look on this slide, this is by shifting 0.005 cents of the INS rate into the M&O rate. So you'll see pretty much here where we were losing 18,000 in the de minimis, we're gaining an additional 65,000. So that was the reason, it was trying to not burden the debt rate and not to burden the M&O, the property taxes. Oops. Let me go down. I think I broke it. So as mentioned, the city staff is proposing the de minimis tax rate, which is at 0.426544, which will be collecting a little over 7.9 million. The proposed tax levies on a resident for estimating Estimated residence tax bill is estimated to increase by $499.40 on an 885,000 home, or $3,777 annually. This will bring in an additional amount of $431,670 after balancing the budget and without using any fund balance if the debt is shifted. If not, 347,000, it'll bring an additional 347,000 if debt is not shifted. This is alternative one. City staff understands the constraints of adopting such an increase that we have looked at alternative routes. So alternative number one is a 75-25 split, where 75% of the fund, 75% to balance will be from property taxes, and the other 25% will be from fund balance. So if we do, where we shift the rate over, it will be at 0.3957, and that will equate to 79,000 coming from fund balance and 240,000 coming from property taxes. And this is just breaking even with no additional on the general fund. So for the unshifted debt, the tax rate will equal to 0.40. It will raise an estimated M&O levy of 7.48, and just keep in mind that we have 7.93 budgeted right now in the proposed budget. Residents will see an estimated tax bill, their bill increase by $226.27, or $3,504 annually. And we'll have two more alternatives. This will be the second one, where we do a 50-50 split of property taxes and fund balance. This will equate to a 0.3909 property tax rate, and the split will equate to 159,000 coming from fund balance and 160,000 coming from property taxes. For the unshifted debt rate, it will equate to 0.3959, and that will, and totally everything will raise an additional amount of $7.4 million. Residents will see an estimated increase in their tax bill by $183.77. Total annual tax bill will be about $3,461. Oop, what? Alternative three is pretty much the midpoint tax rate between the no new revenue and the de minimis rate, which will equate to a 0.405 tax rate, and it will raise an estimated M&O levy of $7.63 million. This will bring in an estimated additional $74,641 after balancing the budget and without using any fund balance, and this is if the debt rate portion is shifted. If not, the tax rate will be at 0.41. Residents will see an estimated increase to their tax bill by $308.63, and the total annual tax bill will be $3,586. So, as mentioned before, the 2026 proposed tax rate is at 0.426544, which is more than the no new revenue rate of 0.380641. Once the proposed tax rate is set by council, the adopted tax rate cannot be higher than the proposed tax rate. The actual M&O and INS rate will be dependent on if council wants to shift 0.005 cents of the INS rate to the M&O. And City Council will also schedule a public hearing to obtain citizen input, and city staff will publish the notices pursuant to the Texas Property Tax Code. Sorry. And these will be the motions. So any discussion?
Mayor, I have a question. So you've presented three alternatives.
Yes.
So what we're doing here is, are we needing to select one of those alternatives, or you're just letting you know that we have those alternatives? But I think, do we need to make a call on the shift? Do we need to make a call on the rate, or all the above? Or are we just trying to set the maximum tax rate possible at this point so we have some flexibility to make the call?
Yeah, because we can come down, we just can't go up.
Yes.
Yeah,
But we'll be open for discussion at the next hearing.
But
Yeah,
I'm
our
hearing-
thought was the recommendation would be is to select the de minimis
minimis
rate
return.
tonight. And then y'all can always select one of those other combinations. We just wanted to give you all some alternatives if you chose not to. But if you select the de minimis rate tonight, you can set it at whatever you want on the 24th.
But that presupposes that we're shifting 1/2 of 1 penny per $100 valuation out of the debt, INS fund, right? That shift is being recommended today.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
But we can come off of it later,
I believe,
well, I don't know.
right?
Half penny won't affect that, though, will it?
no, I believe right now the main point is setting the full proposed tax rate of the 0.42. The M&O and the INS is more on the other side where you can set it one way, but whenever we adopt it, we can adopt it the other if we need to.
So tonight's motion is y'all's request by staff to diminish rate of
Yes, sir.
0.42.
Yes.
And then we can have alternatives at our follow-up
Right.
hearing.
And this was based on the budget workshop, when we had discussion about raising additional revenue and so forth. So, I mean, you technically, you could set it all the way to the voter-approved rate tonight. You're not gonna spend that.
Yeah.
We know you're not gonna do that, but you can set it wherever you want. You just can't go higher than whatever you set it tonight.
I just want to make sure I understand the INS rate a little bit
Yes.
better. So, I suppose if we shifted that ½ cent or whatever, we're still covering our debt service, obviously.
Yes, there's enough in the fund balance, and what we'll collect, there'll still be enough to pay the upcoming year's debt. That's why I only suggested the 0.005. I wouldn't go any higher than that.
Where does that money go when we collect it if it exceeds the debt service?
If it exceeds the debt service, if it's solely for the INS, it still goes in the debt service fund. It cannot leave that fund. The only time it can leave that fund is once all your debt is paid, and then you can use those extra funds to pay for capital projects or capital items.
So is that part of how that fund balance keeps increasing
Yes.
each year is because we're collecting a little bit extra there?
Yes.
Okay.
So our ½ cent still leaves us a margin of error?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that ½ cent, if we were to shift that this year, in future years, that could be shifted back? Or
You can
is it-
always, from M&O, usually every year it resets. So the debt rate will be, the information we get will be the debt rate will be enough to pay for the current debt that we have for that year. So the debt rate should be enough to collect enough tax levy to pay for that debt.
Okay.
So every year that debt rate will reset and we'll try and collect the full amount. From there, we can adjust if we want to collect less or more. So we can actually shift more from the M&O to the debt, but we have to say why we want to collect more on the debt side. If it's like we want to build up the fund balance on the debt side, then we'll say that would be our reasoning if we want to shift it that way. Normally, from my experience, you always shift from the debt to the M&O. I've never seen shifting from M&O to the debt.
Yeah, because the debt service is restricted. So whatever goes in there is restricted.
So Christine, for clarification, so on the first motion, we would fill in that .05?
Yes, it would be the M&O, depending on, let's just say we're not shifting, the M&O rate would be 0.349591, and the debt rate, or the INS, will be 0.076953.
Sorry, do the one that if we were to shift.
If
Are
you were
those-
to, if you were to shift, the M&O will be 0.354591, and the debt will be 0.071953.
There?
For the debt,
Yeah, 071.
0.071953.
Okay.
And let me,
So
let me
it
go to
makes-
that.
So just to understand, so if you plug in those numbers, you've got the headline number, you can't go above that, that can go down.
Yes,
Now,
you
what
can't
about
go
those
above the
two
0.4.
second numbers?
We
Like,
can
are
always
those-
adjust off.
Those can be adjusted, so those are not really, setting those tonight, you're not really doing anything. You could always make the decision to shift it, or
Yes.
not shift it later. Okay.
Yeah, the main number right now is the proposed full tax rate of 0.42.
So the diminished rate, we could basically vote on tonight purely just the diminished rate of .426544, correct?
Yes.
And then do the allocations at the following hearing, buddy? Frank? If we approve the diminished rate tonight of the .426544, do we even have to deal with the shift of the M&O and INS?
That is totally a policy question of the council, whether they want to make that shift or not.
I think the question is posed because draft motion that was on the screen specified that we specify what that.
They were
right
the
there.
blanks, they had a blank up there. Go back to, there it is, right there. See, Frank?
The question is, do we need to actually specify the MNO and INS?
In your motion, you do not need to, because that is, the only thing that the state law requires that you set the proposed full tax rate. You can still work with the remainder.
Okay. So tonight, the motion would just be the .426544.
Yes.
Okay.
Just over 7 pennies for debt service and the other 35 for maintenance and operations.
Okay.
To be determined later.
To be determined.
Yeah, I mean, I think the shift seems like it makes sense, but
At-
we don't have to decide that tonight. I don't think we need to, so. but-
Did you want to look back at,
And we've done that. We did it, was it last year or year before, Christine?
we
Last
shifted
time?
last year.
We shifted last
I
year.
think you shifted the year before as well.
So it's
seems
not uncommon.
It seems logical. I just, we are missing a couple folks for one, so that's part of the thought process.
All right, I'll make the motion.
Okay, let me go back.
Yeah, I gotta see it though.
You got to use that motion, though.
Pretty much just say the first part
Yeah.
of that sentence.
So I'll move to set the proposed 2026 tax rate at $0.426544 per $100 valuation composed of the MNO and INS rate.
Second?
Second.
We will need a roll call vote.
Oh, we will, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, council, the roll call vote for Mayor Pro Tem Jesse,
Aye.
Councilmember Baker,
Aye.
and Councilmember Jacobson.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And then the next item will be setting the public hearing.
I move the city hold a public hearing for consideration of the 2026 proposed tax rate on August 24th, 2026.
Does this have to be a roll call, Frank?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the
Motion
last,
carries.
the last item setting as an action item to adopt the.
I move the city set an action item on the August 24th, 2026 agenda to adopt the 2026 tax rate.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you to
Thank
you
you.
and your staff, and I know that y'all have been, can't answer any phone calls because you're just buried in paperwork, but thank y'all really seriously. That
Thank you.
this is a lot of work behind the scene that y'all did a great job, everybody.
Yeah, and special thanks to Christine. This is her first full year, so done an excellent job, so just want to
You get a
commend her for
gold
that.
star.
It's good.
Moving on to item 15 on the agenda, discussion and possible action on a resolution granting a 2-year contract extension to Texas Tow Corp., DBA Texas Towing, for vehicles towing and storage service. Chief Pruitt?
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, here we go with the buttons. Okay. We're seeking approval of a resolution to allow a 2-year extension to our current towing and storage agreement with Textow DBA, Texas Towing. We have been with Texas Towing since 2013, and we never regretted a day of it. They've done an excellent job for us. Not working. Okay. Every year we do a very thorough examination of their records, of their facilities, and those things that are built into the contract. And we find that Texas Towing meets or exceeds the requirements of all regulatory state agencies. And there have been no complaints regarding service or loss during the term of the current contract. In all of the contracts we've had since 2013, there's only been one incident of theft. And after investigation, it was learned that actually one of the passengers in that vehicle came back and robbed that vehicle while it was in the storage lot. But they were captured before they even got away with it. They do have a large lot. It's very organized, easy to move around in. It's enclosed with a 7-foot fence. They have stadium lighting, and their personnel on duty 24/7. The personnel also monitor the surveillance cameras that they have through there. And again, they're just a really great facility for us to work with, and a good company as well. The proposed action is consistent with our efforts to provide safe roadways, remediate accident scenes, prevent obstruction of roadways by traffic hazards, provide safe storage of vehicles coming under our control. The city attorney has prepared the proposed resolution, and the city manager has reviewed the existing contract.
Chief, out of curiosity, how many cars do we have towed a year?
Well, since this contract started
there it
in
is.
2023,
Right
yeah, we've towed 1,326 vehicles under this current contract. And that are the agreed percentage share that comes back to us has been $108,078.
So that's like almost one a day, huh?
Pardon me?
Almost like one a day.
Oh, yeah, about.
A little more even, right?
Where do they come from? I mean,
All
where are they
over.
usually towed?
They come from all over. A lot of these vehicles are towed because people don't have driver's licenses, or their driver's licenses are suspended, or they've been expired for more than 2 years. And we're just not an agency to have somebody with no driver's license, write them a citation, have that on their dash when they have an accident at the next intersection, causes an injury or fatality.
So they're not really parking, they're actually mostly violations.
True.
I got you.
There's also a lot of vehicles that are in car accidents that.
Yeah, we have
towed
that.
out for safety and security reasons.
Mayor, I had a question. So I was reading the memo on this, and I don't remember the amount of money that the city receives as part of the contract from Texas Towing. I was just curious how that cost share or that revenue looks compared to other cities or the city of San Antonio, Bexar County, whoever else. Like, is the amount of money that we're getting similar to what other agencies are getting?
I'm not real sure, but in our memo, the city gets 20% of the fees collected from the vehicle owner and the authorized person responsible for all charges relating to towing, labor, and storage. The city will get 15% of the lien value of any additional proceeds to the city for all vehicles sold at auction after the towing company takes out their cost of towing and paying the driver, so on and so forth. And Texas Towing also collects a $50 administration fee that comes directly back to us because we have a lot of administrative responsibility to this as well. And that's pretty much how it is split out. City vehicles are towed without cost as long as it's in Bexar County. And if there's any extra large vehicle that needs something extra, then there may be a surcharge for that.
All right. Is there a motion?
Entertain a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question. Does Texas Towing, I mean, we have governmental immunity, but do they indemnify us?
Yes.
They do? Totally? Okay. Okay, good. Finally, item on the agenda, item 16, discussion possible action on a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute service agreement between the City of Alamo Heights and EMS Management Consultants, Inc. for the purpose of EMS billing. Chief Albers?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. So the item before you is staff seeking resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into a service agreement between the City of Alamo Heights and EMS Management and Consultants for the purpose of EMS billing. Currently, the city has an interlocal agreement with Schertz EMS for the billing services. And I guess back in June, we received notification from Schertz EMS that the current billing contract will not be renewed after September the 30th, 2026. Thank you. So staff received 3 proposals for EMS billing services. Emergency Management and Consultants Incorporated provided the lowest rate. They also provide client customer portal that provides easy access for staff and patient billing for patient to view and pay EMS bills. Obviously, EMS billing is an important source of revenue to the EMS system to offset recurring costs. The city attorney has reviewed and approved the agreement. I think that's it. I stand for any questions.
Sorry, I didn't look at the memo, but what is the mechanism that they charge for that? Is it like per trip, or is it like
So
a
it's,
percentage, or-
they base their collections, or their percentage off collections. So
Okay.
right now, and I thought it was in the.
Yeah,
I think
in
it's
the presentation.
I think there's one more slide. In
Okay,
there.
is there?
Isn't there a fiscal impact?
Yeah, there should be one more slide. No? Yeah, okay.
Oh, there it is.
So here it is. So basically, Schertz EMS was charging us 10%, and EMS MC is charging 5 3/4, and that's on the amount that they actually collect from the EMS bill.
Okay, that's good. So that's lower.
Yes.
Significantly lower, really, right?
Yes, it's 4 4.25%. So roughly annually, it's going to cost us 18 to 21,000.
So it should be better than shirts.
Yes.
So what's your thought process? How could they do it for so cheap, and we've been with shirts for so long?
I think it's it's one of the biggest billing companies probably in the United States. They're based out of North Carolina. They have, our rep is actually in Bernie, but I think they bill for so much, and everything is, or for so many people. I think they collect like 5.5 billion annually across the United States. And I just, the customer portal, the client portal is impressive. And talking to other clients, that's what they said, is it's user friendly. Clients like it, patients like it, so.
Economy of scale always pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there was nothing negative with shirts. They just decided they weren't going to bill at all anymore.
Right.
So not for us, for anybody.
They did us a favor.
They're still doing it in-house, but not.
No, I don't think so.
My understanding is they're probably.
They're going out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they're probably going through the same process.
Yeah, they had several staff members, and I think they're going to go a different route.
They did us a favor.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Any further questions?
Move approval.
We have a sec- All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Alan. It is now officially 6:39. I'd like to bring the city council meeting to a close. Do I have a motion?
Second motion.
Move to
So
adjourn.
moved.
All in favor?
All right.
Council closed.
You know, it's like just,
Where's, we missed Blake.
Blake's not here.
We're aimless.
Everything goes haywire. We didn't know how to close the meeting.
So we should all send him a message right now, just saying.
He's on the golf course. He won't.
He's on the golf course.
He's on the golf course in some faraway
Oh,
exotic
not
place.
like just down the
No,
street.
no, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's
Hey, Trey.